going. How's it heckin' going, everyone? If you're watching this, first of all, thank you for even doing that. And second off, you're probably a little confused, like, why is there a podcast showing up out of nowhere here? And why am I wearing these headphones that aren't even plugged into anything? I just wanted the podcast to look real official, so I put these on. But I'll stop being fake as hell for you now. But, gosh, there's like wires like making all sorts of noise everywhere. This is already a train wreck, and we're like not even a minute in. But here we go. So, this is a historic moment. Welcome to the Fisch Pod. That is right. It's short for Fisch Podcast, but I thought Fisch Pod sounded pretty cool. That's right. I'm starting a podcast. And I'll tell you why. There's a few reasons I decided to do this. So basically I'll start. What am I going to be doing on this podcast that's coming up that I'm going to be doing here? I'm still getting used to like the fact of that I have to articulate like a sentence well the first time, because I'm so used to like YouTube videos. I can totally like fumble and then just restart and cut that out. But I got to learn to just like keep going with if I'm going to be doing a podcast like this. But I decided to start doing this to kind of basically give me a way to stay accountable for this YouTube channel. Because this is kind of a crazy moment in my life right now. I recently got a new job that I'm going to be starting in a couple weeks. It's a big boy job, my first big boy job. It's a real 9 to 5, go to the office, right at rush hour kind of thing. And I'm really excited for it. And I'm super, super grateful that I got a job during these hard times when everybody's struggling so much. And so I'm really, really grateful for that. But I'm going to be a lot busier, and I feel like it would be easy to kind of let my side passions kind of slip away, since I'll be so much busier and kind of have that comfort, I guess, of a regular job. So, and with this YouTube channel being my biggest side passion, I decided to start this podcast to kind of be a way to hold myself accountable to keep doing something for it every week. So basically, once a week, I'm thinking on Wednesdays is when I'll upload it, just to get everyone through the middle of the week, because I know I'll have so many listeners for this. But yeah, like I was saying, I decided to start this podcast so that even if I'm super busy one week and I'm not able to upload like a regular video to the channel, I'm at least going to hold myself to make sure to at least sit down for 20-30 minutes or whatever once a week and just talk some shit and call it a podcast. And I know it probably won't have a lot of listeners at first, because like kind of with a podcast to be popular, I know you gotta be already popular for some other reason for somebody to like want to talk to you or want to listen to you talk for a while or whatever. And like I was thinking about that. A podcast is, if you explain it to someone who doesn't know what a podcast is, it sounds so boring. You're just like, yeah, a person or a couple people just sit there and talk for an hour or more or whatever. And that just sounds like, why would anybody want to do that? But I know the whole like, because I listen to quite a few podcasts myself, and it's usually people who I know off of like YouTube already or from somewhere else. And I like them as a person. So hearing them talk about random shit's still entertaining, because I think they're a cool person. So hopefully one day I'm at that level. But wow. And we're only 4.5 minutes in already. This is going to be a learning curve, because it feels like I've already been talking for ever. But I typed up some notes here so that I don't get just like totally lost and just out there. But so I guess I'll talk a little bit about the Fisch YouTube channel to begin with. Most of you, if you're listening, are either like my friends who I've sent this channel to since I started it fairly recently now. It's been about 3 months. I think exactly. I mean, look, I'm pretty sure the first upload to the Fisch channel as it is today was on April 14th, which today it's July 14th. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. The autofocus on my camera is very not good, but let's see. Yeah, April 14th is when I uploaded the first video to Fisch as it is now. And what I mean Fisch as it is now is because this channel is actually when I started back in like 2012 when I was like 13 years old, or it might have even been earlier, it might have been 2011, so I would have been 12 years old. And it was called Fishman Productions, which, because my name's Fisher, so that's where all the fish stuff came from. And it's Fisch. Hopefully that doesn't end up being too confusing for my brand or whatever we're going to call it. But, and I'm still not sure if like the fact that I changed the name of the YouTube channel, if that like screws up the algorithm or whatever, the society that is YouTube, where you need to, I feel like since I changed the name of the channel, that kind of like screws up everything, and it might still pop up if people search Fishman Productions, which was the original name. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. The channel started as Fishman Productions, and I made videos on it for I think it was close to a year that I was doing it initially, as when I was like 12. And yeah, I was not gonna lie, I was kind of going off. I had like 22 subscribers, lots of fans. I still gotta eventually do a video where I react to my old original videos, but they're all still up on the channel still to watch. I'm sure most of you have noticed them. But I did that for like a year, and then I kind of like lost interest because I was like 12, and you can't focus on anything. Even doing it for almost a year as a 12-year-old, I still hold that as one of my greatest accomplishments. But then I kind of forgot about it for a while, and I recently decided to start it again. Back this past April, when I was back, I had to go back to live with my mom during quarantine when the pandemic all started, because I was in college and got kicked out of the dorms, which was fun. But yeah, I decided to start doing the channel again because I've always been into film and acting and the creative world type of stuff, but I've always in like some ways felt kind of like I don't really know my exact direction, what I want to do. I've, for a lot of various points in my life, been like, oh, I want to be an actor, and other times I've been like, I want to be a director, and and I've done like a lot of like short films and stuff, and done some acting, and I love it all, but I've always felt just kind of wishy-washy where I want to go. And I really started to realize, like, because I'd have liked YouTubers for a long time. I mean, as everyone in my generation has, we kind of grew up with it, and I really like recently, because right now kind of my favorite YouTuber is Cody Ko and Noel Miller, the Tiny Meat Gang as they call themselves. But they're like a huge inspiration for me with the style of YouTube I'm doing now. And I remember listening to Cody Ko's podcast, his original one called Insanely Chill, and I think it was the episode that he had Emma Chamberlain on, and they were talking about with YouTube how it's one of the ways that like someone who's just kind of a creative person and kind of likes doing different forms of creativity can kind of have a career doing that. And the way they explained it to me, it was like, well, not to me, the way they talked about it on the podcast, it seemed like so simple, but it was really kind of like a revolutionary idea for me, that the whole reason people were popular on YouTube is because of people grow to like them as a person, and it becomes less about what exactly they're doing, but it's just people want to watch them because they like that person, and so that's why people have these like viral videos of themselves just reacting to other videos or playing a video game or something, which seems like such a weird concept still, honestly, that like people make a living playing a video game or doing something else and other people just watch that. But it's because if you like a person, you'll watch them do whatever because they're funny or some other quality about them you like. So I don't think I've talked like this much continuously in a while, especially with quarantine. I like talk to like less people, I feel like, and my social skills have gone downhill. So my mouth is already starting to like fail me for talking for 10 minutes here. But what was I saying? But yeah, that kind of, it really inspired me to like focus on you, to try to build a following on YouTube again, because it kind of really opens the door for all the things I would want to do as like a creative person. I love doing videos like the ones I've been doing, but I also eventually on this channel hope to maybe kind of do stuff that's more narrative type of like short films or videos. And I don't know, and like a lot of YouTubers like do music and shit, which I'm not like a musician very much at all. I play some guitar, but who knows, maybe one day my hit single will be out there. But yeah, that was a lot of rambling to say something really simple, that I started a YouTube channel because I wanted to, and it's a channel I started originally when I was 12 but gave up on for 7 years, and then started uploading on again and renamed it, and that's where we're at now. And so what am I going to be doing on this podcast? Wait, what the hell? Okay, I have a Google Drive notes for my like notes for what I'm going to talk about on this podcast. And you know how on Google Drive, when like somebody else starts typing, they like pop up as a cursor on a different color? That just popped up right now, which I don't know who else is on this doc, and it's not telling me. So hopefully that's just like a glitch in the system and somebody's not, seeing this highly classified, 3 bullet points that I half-assedly typed out. So that'd be the end of the world. But yeah, anyway, what am I going to be doing on this podcast? So like I said, mainly as it being, at least initially, a way to kind of keep me accountable for still doing something at least once a week on this channel. But as far as the content of it itself, I'm just kind of going to be talking shit, honestly. Just about whatever to start with. Mainly some like YouTube stuff. I might talk about the YouTube news, how to become the next Keemstar. God, I hate that guy. But yeah, and just kind of talking about my own life, and hopefully initially I'm going to try to start soon kind of like reaching out to other small YouTubers and kind of try to build like a little community and collab with them. So hopefully I can get some guests on the podcast before too long also, or just guests in regular videos, which, speaking of regular videos, I know it's been a fat minute since I've uploaded. What is it, like almost 2 weeks now? Freaking shameful. But I've recorded one. I've had a crazy week and have not like gotten my ass together, because right now my ass is apart. It's like one cheek is over there and one's over here. It's a mess, but I need to bring them together and edit this video. But it should be a fun one. Hopefully it'll turn out well. And I need to, I'm gonna like try to get it uploaded by this weekend at the very latest. Hopefully sooner, but yeah. But yeah, that's, damn, and we're only 14 minutes in. Wow. Well, that's the Fisch podcast. And just to get, and I think I'm also like the reaction type of videos I do, I might do that a little bit on the podcast too, just for like smaller things that don't really warrant a full video. I might pull those up on the podcast every once in a while too, and just talk some shit about those. So to end the podcast today, that's what we're going to do. I found, goodness me, this is going to be painful to even bring up. I was just talking to my mom earlier and telling her I was starting this, and she's like, oh, well, I'll listen. And so this is going to be not the kind of thing I would want to watch with my mom, but here we go anyway. But this is, I heard about this girl a couple weeks ago on Cody and Noel's podcast, The Tiny Meat Gang. They mentioned it, and I watched her TikToks only like once. Okay, I didn't rewatch them over and over again. I don't know why you guys are like accusing me of that. Really fucking disrespectful to do that. But it's called, I'm doing like a screen recording here just to keep me just so I can be like, I don't know, I'm still working on the logistics of doing this podcast, I guess, so it can be in sync with like when I'm pausing it and stuff and watching it. We'll see how that even works out, but this is just I'll pull it up now. It's a TikTok compilation of this this TikToker. Her username is Your Puppy Girl Jenna. And that says a lot about it already. Her name's Jenna, and this is how she rolls as that. And just by the like-dislike ratio, you can no, did not mean you can see that it's controversial to say the least. And I always like to play devil's advocate, so let's even the playing field here. That's done. That like was done purely ironically. Okay. Okay, but we're just gonna watch these, and I think you'll see early on what this is all about.
Hey, what are you doing on the couch? You know better than that. Bad girl. Go to your bed. No, quit whining. You know better than that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this one's... Oh my god, dude. Yeah, so as you can see, this girl on TikTok who just likes to be a dog. I don't know if this is some sexual thing, or if this guy who is like, I guess it's her boyfriend filming these, if he's even into it, or if this is just how she is and he like somehow ended up in the situation where he has to take care of her or whatever because she's acts like a dog and can't do anything. But I was like, because when I got this new job the other day, they had me like sit in at a meeting initially, and it was very like corporate, and we were like, again, we were talking a little bit about how like an audience consumes things, and most of the people there are like quite a bit older than me, and I was just thinking about these TikToks that I had recently seen, and just what would these people around me think if they knew just an hour before being here I had watched a TikTok compilation of a girl who likes to pretend she's a dog. I mean, not that there hasn't always been weird shit in the world, but I feel like this is something that can only really come out of Gen Z type of content. And my god, and this last one where she jumps in the water, just that dog's reaction, the black dog here, it just gets splashed by the water, and you can tell the dog was like running into it to try to go for the ball himself, and like and saw her leap in, and the dog was like, oh, that's what we're doing. Okay, I'm just gonna back off from this lady. And she totally breaks character. She says, I got it, and there's just so many conflicting things with these. She has these like stupid text titles, like, am I a good girl? That like the shit people do with their dogs regularly. Like a regular video of a dog. Like, I guess that's kind of funny if like a dog's doing something and they do that, but she just needs to, if she's gonna do this, which I wouldn't like, she needs to choose a route. Like, either go full dog or be like a dog character, if that's what you're gonna do. All right, Jenna? And oh my gosh, I guess we'll just watch any more of these.
Right,
and this one is just
give me the ball. Give me the ball. Hey, give me the ball. Where you?
She was definitely the odd girl at school, I feel like. And I can tell how much the pandemic's changed me with how like much I cringe at her biting like a tennis ball like that, or there's even, I think this next one
You want a treat?
Oh yeah, this one.
You want a treat? Sit. High five. Sit pretty. Bang. Good girl. Here you go.
And I'm pretty sure that's a real freaking dog treat. And she just eats it off the ground. And I cringe so much just at the fact that it's off the ground. Like, does she know how many germs are on there? But honestly, that's enough of that. That's we'll put that right back where it came from. But oh my gosh. Yeah, what was I saying? Was I saying something else about this? But yeah, I don't know how she ended up in this situation. And one thing on the Tiny Meat Gain podcast, when I first heard of this, Noel said something about how he guarantees she's going to have an OnlyFans like a week after this. Because like when they talked about it was when she first had blown up. And I went to her Instagram just for research for this video. And she did. She started an OnlyFans. So, I mean, maybe I'll do a video where those videos where like I bought so-and-so's OnlyFans so you don't have to. If I really need to do that, maybe I will if it makes a funny video and you all demand it. But that means you got to start, sharing my stuff so I can like get more views and have the money to buy that, because I'm willing to invest if my hands are forced to. If I really need, if it's for the good of the channel, I'll take one for the team and do it. I won't like it, but I'll do it. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap up the first episode of the pod. This was a historic moment. Thanks if you made it this far. We'll see if... but yeah, I'm going to do this once a week. I'm going to do it. I'm going to hold myself to it no matter what. Hopefully there'll be guests the next time, talk about all sorts of stuff, explore the world through a podcast. So cheers.